The 29th LEGO Collectible Minifig series was just revealed, so I figured I'd rank them all on a tier list. Starting first, we've got the Bionicle Cosplayer, which I'm sure is going to be a fan favorite from this pack. Bionicle fans have been wanting minifigs for a really long time, and LEGO barely ever throws them a bone, so they're going to be so happy about this. Now, me personally, I never cared much about Bionicle as a kid, and especially now, but I did have a few friends that were really into it at the time, so I'm aware enough that this is kinda the main Bionicle guy. And at least to my eye, I think he turned out looking fantastic in minifig form. The mask is the obvious best part here, along with the stylized Technic printing on the torso and legs, but my favorite part is this tube accessory. I so remember seeing those Bionicle tubes in the LEGO aisle growing up, and I'm sure the Bionicle fans out there are gonna love that they included it here. Especially with the attention to detail that they put into it, with it having the correctly colored stud on top to match the real container. I mean, come on, this is such a perfect figure. Even though I personally don't want this fig in my collection, and it's not really for me, I still think he belongs in S tier. Moving on, we've got a few of those classic city figs that pad out every CMF series, so I'm gonna move past them pretty quickly here. The Goalkeeper's got a really expressive face print and a great hairpiece, but really just doesn't appeal to me as an American, so D tier. The Marine Biologist looks similar to this figure from Series 20, but with some more interesting printing and color choices, so I'm gonna put her in C tier. Next is the Tuba Player that I basically have nothing to say about, so I'm gonna put them into D tier with the Goalkeeper. And to round off the city filler figs, we've got my favorite of the bunch, the Chocolatier. She comes with a chocolate sculpted dragon and a chef's hat with hair. Super basic, I mean, sure, but this fig would make for a great start to like a modular building of a culinary school or a restaurant or something like that. So for that, I'll put her in C tier. With the city figs done and out of the way, let's take a look at the fig that I am most looking forward to as a Castle fan. The Unicorn Elf is almost perfect, but falls short because of one really odd choice. LEGO has molded her hair and crown piece in a metallic gold color. They also did this in a LEGO Zelda set on a Breath of the Wild version of Link, and honestly, I just don't think it looks very good. I can understand the thought process behind it, especially for like a mythical elven character, but again, I'm just not a fan of how it looks. Beyond that though, this fig looks really great. The yellowish green and bright green dress is gorgeous, and I love the little unicorn pendant that she's wearing around her neck. The dress is elegant, whimsical, and just suits the character really well. Even with my complaint about the hair, this is definitely my favorite fig from the pack, and I'm going to be putting her in A tier. Next up, we've got the Trash Monster. This one reminds me a lot of those, I don't know, how do you put it, like gross out toys and gummies that you would see commercials for as a kid, and especially these trash characters that I remember my little brother having all over the floor in his room. And now that I think about it, this figure really just reminds me of something that my little brother would have left out in his room, which is kind of endearing to me today, and I think LEGO did a great job on the printing for this guy. You get a little bit of side leg and arm printing here, and this brand new fishbone piece based on the classic LEGO fish. Just for this part alone, I will definitely be picking this figure up when it comes out in May. And as for the ranking, I think he probably belongs in A with the elf. It's a really vibrant character and something very different compared to the regular CMF series. I like it. Up next is the mysterious Ronin, who I believe is almost certainly Lloyd from Ninjago. I'm not really a Ninjago fan, so I could be wrong. It could be like his grandfather or something, I don't know. As for the figure itself, I really just don't like it. Objectively, he's got some really nice, like highly detailed pieces going on here and a cool new mold, but I'm just not a Ninjago fan, so again, this really just isn't for me as a regular LEGO fan, more specifically a Castle fan. I suspect this might be one of the better versions of Lloyd, as it's a CMF and usually has better printing, but I just don't really understand why he's a part of this series, to be honest with you, so I'm gonna have to put him in C tier. In a similar vein to Lloyd, we've got this robot T-Rex, an objectively well thought out figure that just doesn't speak to me personally, but I'm sure the target audience for this figure is gonna really love it since it's got some beautifully printed parts, and frankly might be worth buying just to tear apart from my parts collection. The torso in particular could be interesting for making, like, I don't know, custom sci-fi characters and stuff from video games, but again, this just isn't to my taste, so for that, I'm gonna put them in C tier, but I don't know, depending on the day, I could see myself moving it to like low B tier. I don't know. It's a fine figure either way. On a more positive note, we've got the cute witch. She comes with this brand new oversized witch's hat that really nails the less serious fantasy aesthetic and conjures comparison to the little dude from Final Fantasy and Magical Girl anime. The whole figure is really over the top and kind of costumey, but that's also kind of the appeal of it to me. Again, it's feeling a little anime-ish, which I think is not really my style, but I love the pieces that go into it. I think she's going to end up being one of the more contentious figs of the whole series, like a love it or hate it kind of deal. Anyways, besides the fantastic new hat mold, we've got some pretty good printing all around, with the standout being the recolor and new print of the plastic skirt piece. This part's been around for a little while now, and I think this is easily my favorite printed version of it, and could work nicely for making a custom Snake Knight Witch for the Castle fans watching. The purple color works great for it, and I'm gonna have to try it out for myself. Apart from that, the torso's fine, and I think the legs could be useful for making sig figs or more city characters. I don't know. To me, this is one of the better figures from the pack, if you couldn't already tell, so I think I'm gonna put her probably in A tier. I could see her going into B, but I think for now I'm gonna put her in A. And one last note on her before we move on, I really hope we get this hat and some new color combos, since it's way too nice of a mold to use only once. Getting at least one version of this in a natural hair color would be a dream come true for Castle fans. Anyhow, moving on, we've now got the Boba Tea fan. This figure looks so bland to me. The colors here are so basic, and it really just doesn't catch my eye at all. LEGO could have done something way more interesting with this idea, color and design-wise. You can keep the pink for sure, but I don't know, add some white to the rounded lid, and maybe a bright green or blue straw, just something more than this very plain-looking figure that we got. I'm not even really a Boba fan myself, but this really just doesn't fit the bright, summery, bubbly vibe that people associate with the drink and the cafes that make them. This fig really just feels like a missed opportunity if you ask me, and it comes across as kinda cynical. I don't know, I could be hating on this too much, but I think this one's gotta go into F tier for me. Last up is the Monster Hunter. LEGO, for some reason, has been doing a couple of these steampunk-esque characters, both in Series 27 and now 29. I think this one is a bit more interesting and less on the nose than the previous character, but it still misses the mark for me. As a Castle fan though, I'm very interested in getting my hands on these new brown and dark brown pants, as I think they'll be great for making custom fantasy figures, but the rest of this fig is really just not for me. The hat would be nice for making custom cowboys, and I like the inclusion of dark red for her hair, but other than that, this fig is forgettable. Also, real quick, is part of her gun 3D printed? I know LEGO's been kind of testing the waters with 3D printing certain parts, but I can't quite tell based on the render. If you're knowledgeable about 3D printing, please let me know in the comments, as I can't tell if it is or not. As for her ranking, I'm gonna put her in B tier. This series might be one of the most balanced CMFs that we've gotten in a pretty long time. There doesn't seem to be one figure that stands out as the best for the average LEGO fan, and I am very happy about that. Normally, I'd complain that there aren't any new medieval knights to freak out about for 6 months, but I don't know. I'm just very content with this pack and most of the choices that LEGO made within it. But I would love to hear what you all think in the comments, as I'm sure I've got a couple of weird takes in this video that I'm just not thinking about. It's all in good fun either way, and I really like making these CMF ranking videos, so I hope you enjoyed. And before I go, I'd like to give a big thank you to my channel members Gyojo, Faisal, Rio Bricks, Walktiermeister, Ryzen Covers, Peter, RPG Game Slayer, Daventria Bricks, Space Marine 5869, Nimble Saucepan, The Squad Up Kid, and all of my other members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot, and as always, thank you all so much for watching.